of directing the money to the teaching and learning issues, you direct it maybe to co-curricular activities. So the choices that you make, they directly influence the teaching and the learning. So the way you allocate resources can also can have a direct influence on teaching and the learning. The next one.
Ensuring pupils are safe and supported.
When pupils are not safe, they will not be coming to school. You have a lot of children absent. For example, if the toilets are dirty, and the home where they come from, the toilets are very clean, and they come to this dirty school, they may just as well stop coming to school, or they may be attending school for a certain period and then go back home because they don't want to use those dirty toilets. Okay? If there's bullying in your school, the smaller children or the weaker sex is bullied, they may also absent themselves from school. Because who wants to be beaten every day? No one. So if you don't create a safe environment in the school, and when somebody who has been marginalized is not supported by you, they also cry foul, and they may not want to come to school. But when you support the learners, regardless of what problem they have, or regardless of what they are facing, the children would want to come to school, and that will also have a direct influence. Okay, the next one.
Setting appropriate priorities for the action and improvement.
Okay, do we have improvement plans in our schools? And do we set our priorities? You know, sometimes what is least needed in the school is what you do first. And what is needed is what you do last. And by the time you want to do it, all the resources are gone. That becomes a problem. So you are again directly influencing the way the teaching and learning is happening in your school. And the last one?
Organizing the school so it runs both effectively and efficiently.
Okay, the school should be organized. Remember when we were looking at the other points, even if it says orderly and whatever, we didn't say it doesn't have an impact. It also has an impact, but there are things that have more impact than being orderly. But when we come to this point, the school has to be organized. It has to run smoothly. Because if you have a school that is haphazardly done, you have a school that is where there's chaos, the teaching and learning is also going to be influenced negatively. So we need to organize the schools. So you see that the things that we do, the behavior that we portray, the decisions that we make, they are going to directly influence the classroom practice. Okay? Is there anything that we want to add that you think also has a direct influence on the teaching and learning, which has been left out? Is there anything that you want to add? Nothing? Okay, we move on. Now let us look at the indirect influence. Okay, there's something interesting there which says the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. I think many of us, even way back, we could be 50 years, we could be 60 years, we could be whatever we are. But we still remember that one teacher back in primary school or back in the secondary school who had an influence on us. Okay? The influence of a good teacher can never be erased. And each time you think of that teacher, you smile. And sometimes you wished you were like them, even the way you teach now, or even the way you do things. It could even be a head teacher. The way that head teacher was running the school, it was a marvel. And when you look back at how they were doing things, probably that is what is even influencing the way you are leading the school, because they were doing something that is very good. What is wrong is to copy from the wrong things that people were doing. You know, sometimes what we do, if we were really treated badly. Some of us, we also want to treat others badly, which is not a kind way of doing things. We want the good influence to still remain in us. So let us look at the indirect influence. School leaders can influence classroom and lesson practices indirectly by role modeling. Are you a role model? If you are a role model, what kind of a role model are you? Not just to the children, not just to the teachers. We just look at everyone who is interested in education, all the stakeholders. Are you a marvel? Okay? Even the way we are as head teachers here, some of us are coming from the same province, others are coming from the same district. There is that one head teacher whom you think is a role model. Is it you they think to be a role model? That is what we need to do, because that has indirect influence. So without you knowing, because of the things that you do, you could have indirectly influenced others. And that is what we want to see. Head teachers indirectly influencing others because of the things that they do. Okay? Monitoring and evaluation activities. The way we monitor our schools. The evaluation that we do. For example, when you go for monitoring, are you going to fault find? Are you going to police? Or are you going to help the teacher? So if when you go to monitor a teacher, you are just shouting at them. You are just telling them you are nothing. Where were you trained? What kind of teaching is this? The effect that will come from there is that this person will stop caring because you are condemning them. But if you go there with the notion of building them, you nurture them, you do everything that needs to be done so that you help them become good teachers, they'll always be looking out for you. And the teaching and learning is going to improve in that school. Facilitating collaboration between teachers. In our schools, is there teamwork? Or do we have the school for the head teacher within the school, and the school for the deputy head teacher, and a school for the head of department? These various groups that are there in the schools, those have also indirect influence, and that is a negative influence. But the positive influence is where you are leading as one. The way you collaborate, everyone is working together. If the other one is not doing very well, the other one gets consent and they want to pick that one up. If someone is doing very well, everyone wants to be like them. Can you help us? How can we become like you? That is an indirect influence which is positive, and it can improve the teaching and learning in the school. Creating a culture that promotes teaching and learning. In some schools, children may go out without learning. They will come in and go out without learning. I've always told people to say, if here we have mealie meal, I think even in Zimbabwe you have mealie meal. If you get maize and you take it to the grinding mill, what do you expect? You expect to have mealie meal, isn't it? But if you go to the mealie meal and then they give you back your maize, what have you done? And this is what we are doing to the children. The children are given to us. They need to come out baked. They need to come out with certain skills. But when they come out as raw as they came in. That is not really justice to the education system. So we need to create a culture that promotes learning. Everyone should want to learn. All the pupils want to learn. The teachers also want to teach and learn. Even the children can also teach each other. So when we promote that culture where the language in the school is about teaching and learning, then we are doing justice. Okay? Offering and designing professional learning opportunities. It is still bringing us to CPD. We have CPD activities in our school. Can we promote that culture of learning? Once that is promoted in a school, then we are doing very fine. Okay. We need to reflect now. direct leadership and influence, and then we also have indirect. We have Appendix 2, page 61. I don't know where they. Sorry, I have to ask. Were you given pre-reading activities?
Pre-reading activity was shared in their group.
Okay. Okay, I'll get to that later on. What I want to talk about now is maintaining the diary. I hope we all, wherever we are seated now, we have a diary.
Maureen.
And you are jotting down whatever you are learning every day. And even when you go back to... Yes, Doc?
We gave them a task on the diary, and they were supposed to track a week on what they were doing. It was part of their pre-reading activity.
Are they supposed to show it in the Google Classroom?
Yes, and now you can use it as discussion because they have already read it and they have filled it. It was a table with a week or what they are doing every day, and now they are supposed to share.
Okay. Can we share your what you put in the diary? My working week. Did you do your working week, if I may ask? Please unmute. Or maybe by show of hands. Maybe you're raising your hands. Let's see those who did something on my working week. Are the hands raised?
We have T. Machaka. He has raised his hand. T. Machaka.
Okay. As others are still raising their hands, T. Machaka, can you take us through your working week? Can you take us through your working week? And then somebody else will at random, will choose people to tell us what they had in their working week. Machaka, we are waiting. Okay, anyone who is ready? If Machaka is still preparing, anyone who has come with their working week, their diary. Let's see what you had in your diary last week. We have 5 days there. What did you do? The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5.
Hello.
Hello. Please go ahead.
Hello. Right. This is my week diary. This is on Monday. I usually make sure that people have planned their work properly. If there are any areas that need corrections, then it is done. Then on Tuesday, I usually go around. I can make, let's say, two staff members per day. Then I go with it. I see them teach. Then we discuss. Then we show each other areas that need improvement. Then on Wednesday, if we happen to see that there are some growth areas that can help the workforce, we can hold a staff meeting where we highlight on some of the issues that would have to observe. Then on Thursday, I usually try to see on written way, trying as we are approaching the end of the week, we try to see what is students in given and if they work much. Then if you try to do that time and again, you won't have those people who give work and fail to match the work. Then on Fridays, usually they start to give my ongoing evaluation exercises and monitoring the progress for the week, so that they plan for the next week.